Welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to take a closer look at an AI company that Nvidia, my favorite semiconductor company, and Microsoft, the company we follow very well in this channel, have invested in. And more specific, what I want to take a closer look at is this company just announced some new updates to their large language models. And they do mention that there's only one large language model that beats them, and that's OpenAI, but they do believe that they outperform Google, they outperform XAI, and all the other solutions out there. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. So first, let's just jump into price action. We can see Nvidia right now is sitting at $486. The stock is down roughly 2.5% after the company reported earnings. I did do kind of a top level overview on earnings in my channel, so make sure to check the video before this if you want to take a closer look at that. But the stock is still sitting at $486. Earnings were amazing, and I do believe the market maybe might have been expecting a little bit too much. And Nvidia still, in my opinion, over delivered, but the market does not believe that's the case. Now, when we take a closer look at Microsoft, Microsoft is up 1.4% today. I do believe one of the reasons is just the overall sentiment of OpenAI. OpenAI seems to finally be done with the drama that started that started last week, but it does seem like that drama is kind of over. So that obviously bodes well for Microsoft, as that is one of Microsoft's top AI play. But for those that are not familiar, Microsoft is the AI monster, and they have invested and put their wallets in a lot of different companies. One of those companies is actually Inflection.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So Inflection is trying to bring AI solutions to pretty much everywhere in forms of large language model. And they just announced Inflection 2, which is a major step up from Inflection 1. They do mention that today they are proud to announce that they have completed training of Inflection 2, the best model in the world for its compute class, and the second most capable large language model in the world today. Obviously, number one is ChatGPT, is GPT 4, I believe, at the moment. So they're only second to that. They do believe that their new model, Inflection 2, is substantially more capable than Inflection 1. And here they kind of just showcase Inflection 2 versus Palm 2. And for those that are not familiar with Palm 2, this is Google's large language model, or Alphabet's large language models. And they do showcase on what solutions Inflection 2 outperforms Palm 2. And one of the main reasons they do select Palm 2 to kind of be their comparison is they are changed on similar types of benchmarks, I believe, and kind of training models. So they mentioned that that's probably the best comparison at the moment. But they do mention Inflection 2 was trained on 5,000 Nvidia H100 GPUs. So that is pretty insane, right? 5,000 Nvidia H100s. We do know that Microsoft has their superclusters that are a lot higher, which are used to train GPT-4. But we're going to see that Inflection actually has a big secret, not a big secret, but a top weapon that they're getting ready to use. They do mention that one of the great things for their performance that has helped with overall efficiency has been the transitions from A100 to H100 GPUs. I do believe this is a nice cross sell, or a nice kind of little a nice little ad for Nvidia. But they do mention that they managed to reduce the cost and increase the speed of serving versus Inflection 1, despite Inflection 2 being multiple times larger. So obviously you can see how H100s from Nvidia make such an important are so important for these kind of large language models. They do mention that this is a big milestone, as they are kind of trying to build personal AI for everyone, and they are excited about the new capabilities of Inflection 2 and how that will enable in Pi. They are saying that they are looking forward, and this is the secret weapon I was talking about, of training even larger models on the full capacity of their 22,000 GPU cluster. I think that is insane. And I talked about it a little bit, I want to say a few months ago on maybe my semiconductor channel, but we did hear on July 3rd that Inflection AI is building a supercomputer with 22,000 NVIDIA H100s. I personally don't know of any supercomputers that is that large. The largest one that I know right now that I've seen in the public has been Microsoft's Ego and Microsoft's N5, which is roughly 10,600 GPUs, and also Nvidia's EOS. But I personally have never seen one over that. So it will be pretty impressive, and I hope they do kind of showcase maybe their solutions in the supercomputer list maybe next time. But they continue to say that, hey, look, we thank their partners, NVIDIA, Microsoft, and CoreWeave, for their collaboration and supporting in building their AI cluster that made the training of Inflection 1 and Inflection 2 possible. So right off the bat, we can see that, hey, look, NVIDIA is a big player here, a big investor. So this obviously bodes well for NVIDIA and Microsoft, right? These are two tech players that continue to, one, invest in AI markets. We know Microsoft has invested in companies like OpenAI. NVIDIA, this is great for them as it obviously builds them and it helps them get the ability to sell more hardware, more infrastructure, more software solutions, which bodes well with CoreWeave as well, another company that NVIDIA has invested in. But also, it kind of puts NVIDIA in that same Microsoft map where they're trying to kind of get into the AI space, not only with their own solutions, but with other players out there. Then they also showcase how Inflection 2 does with a kind of a five-shot benchmark, which is a diverse set of tasks ranging from high school to professional level. And they do showcase that Inflection 2 is the most performant model outside of GPT-4, even outperforming Cloud 2 with chain of thought processing. And I do believe Cloud 2 chain of thought processing is one of the newest solutions out there. But we can see GPT-4, Inflection, Cloud 2, followed by Google's Palm 2 Large, followed by Grok 1. So we can see these are the top 5 large language models out right now. Llama is at the end, and I'm surprised. I wish we get to see more updates on Facebook's large language models. But overall, this does bode well for the companies that I mentioned, and it kind of just showcases where we are here in the AI space. And just to kind of remind everybody, I just wanted to showcase on June 29th of 2023, Inflection AI announces a 1.3 billion of funding led by current investors Microsoft and Nvidia. Along with that, they did mention that they were going to start building that 22,000 Nvidia H100 core GPU system. Oh, I was actually talking about this, and they do estimate that if they entered their cluster in the recent top 500 list, which was the last one up previous, it would be the number 2 and close to top entry, despite being optimized for AI rather than scientific applications. And that's something very important to mention. I've talked about it a lot in other channels or other videos, that AI workloads and high performance computing, which is the top 500 pretty much meant for, which is scientific applications, are two different solutions. So for one to make it both the top in AI and kind of high performance computing, it just kind of showcases the strength of NVIDIA's H100. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.